You still need to reward the correct maneuver, and the key word there being correct. Because in the beginning, when you're first teaching, you're rewarding movement in the correct direction. When they already know what you're doing, you need to reward the correct movement. Two different things. So this is Ray Ray, and today we're going to be working on setting her up for her lope departures. If you're new to my channel, all these horses that you see in my videos are horses that were sent to me for training. Ray Ray was sent to me, I believe, as a late 2-year-old, I think. Late 2-year-old, early 3-year-old, something like that, to be trained. Originally, she was going to be a kid's horse. And then I talked to the owner and we changed plans a little bit because she seemed like she had some talent for a working cow horse. And we ended up changing plans and ended up finishing her out as a working cow horse with the reining work and the cow work. And I showed her in the open, and now her owner is starting to show her. She's turned out to be a really nice horse. And today, what I need to work on is I need to make her lope departures a little better. So this owner stepped up from a different horse to this one to show him working cow horse. And the lope departures were a lot different. So this horse's owner had to practice the lope departures to get the hang of it with this horse. And in the process, it created a little bit of a problem that I've had to go back and fix. So she is actually a finished out bridle horse that we show one-handed. But for this exercise, I'll be swapping back and forth to work her one-handed and two-handed. So while I'm doing this exercise, pay a lot of attention to what I'm doing with my legs and my hands. Since this is a finished horse that I am fixing an issue, I'm going to be doing things a little bit different in how I apply the pressure than I would if this was a young horse being taught the maneuvers. That's really important to understand, that teaching the maneuvers and how you apply the pressure with your hands or your legs to teach a maneuver is a lot different than with a horse that already knows the maneuver. It's going to be done in a little bit different way. Being that this horse shows, we need the maneuver to be a subtle cue, and the horse needs to respond in a willing manner. So everything that I do in my training has to go back towards that willingly guided with little or no apparent resistance. Little different training a horse to show than it is just fixing a problem. I need that horse I need the problem fixed, but I also need it in a way that the horse is going to look good showing with little or no resistance. And that's what we're working on here, is some resistance in her lope departure. Left leg back, push the hip over. I need more hip engagement there. Hip over, hip over, hip over. Can you see her pushing her hip into my leg? I need the hip to go the other way. She's pushing into my leg. Let's get it back over. I'm not releasing the pressure. I know you can't see, but I can't release it now till she gets her hip over. Kind of massaging my spur a little. There we go. A little bit of release, but not enough. It's not the same as if I was there we go. It's not the same as if I was teaching the horse to get off of the leg pressure. This horse knows. This horse has been shown, knows how to give its body, and does flying lead changes and the whole bit. But I need to get this resistance to go away to get that willingly guided. I need this hip to step in and engage. There, I got a little bit. I'll come around and I'll do it again right here in front of you so you can see what my leg is doing. So I'll push with my left leg and the hip, and what I need is that hip to step in to the right. She's pushing the shoulder to the left and she's not giving her hip. So you're pushing into my cue. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to release. I'm not going to release until she gives to that pressure. There. And now I put leg on. She's acting like she's going to lope off, but I'm not going to let her. We're going to walk forward. We got to get willingly guided. Willingly push her hip over and release. I'm not, all that she's doing, I'm not going to take my leg off. I'm going to scold her for the bad behavior that she's doing. Remember, this is not a green horse. This is not a young horse. This is a horse that knows what to do. Still, I don't have to get my left leg off the hip. I'm not going to release until I get what I asked for. And yield and release. When I ask a horse to do something that has resistance like she does, I am going to maintain the cue of what I'm wanting. Now she's pushing her shoulders into my right leg. I'm going to maintain the contact of the cue that I want while I'm letting her know that all the other behaviors are not acceptable. My left leg back in the hip. I'm not going to release. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Still not getting enough hip movement. I need the hip to yield to the right. She kind of yielded it there, but she was not really willing. And we'll walk forward. Let's swap and work the other side a minute. I'll come around so you can see my right leg. See what my right leg does. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ask the hip to step in. I want to remind you, this is a horse that knows what I'm asking for. This is not a young horse that I'm teaching this to. See, as soon as I put this leg on, that shoulder started going that way. I need the hip going in. I need the hip yielding in. I really don't mind if the shoulder steps that way to give me the bend that I'm asking for. But she's to the point where, there we go. She's to the point where she's trying to push in with my leg contact with her shoulder. Leg. She did all that when I put my leg on. Smashing my leg, my knee against the fence. I'm gonna pull her head into it, but look, I still have my cue on, my leg cue on. Not gonna release it until she gives me what I want. She's trying to smash my leg into the fence to get it off of her. Not what I'm asking for. And see, I've still got my leg on. Not gonna release it until I get the movement that I'm asking for. Gotta go forward. See, she pushed into it. She knows what I'm doing. She knows what she's supposed to. Still not going to release. She still is pushing into that leg. She got all her weight on her front end and spun her back around, spun her hip around, pushing into that cue. She's not going to get the release until she yields her hip over. Not going to rub my knee on the fence either. Still have my leg on. cue isn't quite in the position that I'd like it to be in. All that moving around, my legs moved a little bit, but I'm not taking it off. A younger horse, I would help him a little bit. This horse knows lead departures, knows lope departures, and knows lead changes. She don't need any help. The problem is in her brain. I'm not gonna help her and make it easy. She needs to learn the lessons that we need to teach. She's doing that hop thing. She knows that she hops, and it's like the owner will feel like she's loping off and release that pressure. So she's not like she's wanting to rear up. She's hopping to get the pressure to go away. It's not going to make it go away. Well, she didn't try to rub my knee on the fence that time. Almost. Thought she was going to have it there. That was close. My leg's getting tired. I know I don't have the contact that I did, but we've got to get a response. They're pushing to the right. She's pushing into my cue. There, good girl. All right, let's work the left leg. Again, left leg back. Hip over, there we go. We need more forward. She gave me a decent amount of hip movement. We got a decent amount of hip movement here. But I need forward. I need forward. I need this shoulder to quit pushing. There, forward. In the beginning, when you're first teaching a horse, they move off the cue you give it and you release. This horse, there we go, good girl. Just the fact that she moves isn't enough. We need correctness over here. Remember, I'm working towards, remember we need her to show, not just do the maneuver, taking it one step up. We're not just going to do the maneuver. She needs to do it willingly guided so that we can show her. There we go. That was better. Let's go forward. More forward. All right, let's go back to the right leg. We'll walk one circle and then I'll ask. There's a huge difference between training a young horse to do something that don't know how to do and working with an older horse that already knows but is resistant and don't want to. Huge difference, and you have to approach it different. You have to train a little bit different. The last thing I need to do with her is start treating her like a horse that doesn't know, because she already knows. I know she does. Okay, let's right leg back. As soon as I put leg back, she push with the shoulder. Let's get hip. Come on, you're almost there. There. Good girl. One more time. Okay, right leg back. There we go. That wasn't too bad, but you got to keep walking. Keep walking. Let's walk her in a circle or two, then we'll ask again. So when you're working with a horse that's giving you a problem, an issue, whether it could be legs, hands, whatever that problem could be, the first thing you have to establish is, does that horse know what you're asking for or not? And if they don't know what you're asking for, then you have to teach them. If they do know what you're asking for and they just don't want to give it to you, you have to approach it a different way. And the last thing you need to do is start getting aggressive with your hands or aggressive with your spurs. You still need to reward the correct maneuver, and the key word there being correct. Because in the beginning, when you're first teaching, you're rewarding movement in the correct direction. When they already know what you're doing, you need to reward the correct movement. Two different things. Since she already knows, and I know she knows, we're going to reward the correct movement, not just movement in the correct direction. Slide my right leg back. Keep going forward. Good girl. Good girl. That wasn't a lot of movement, but it was correct movement. She moved her hip a little. She didn't push her shoulders into my spur. She didn't push her ribs into my spur. She kept moving forward. So if you have questions about how your hands and your legs influence the horse and how the horse moves, I'll put a link so you can see more on that up here at the top. If you like training videos like this and want to see more, if you would click the like and the subscribe button. And until next time, thank you for watching.